saw you, I know we were talking about breakthroughs, and you had me actually break through a piece of wood with my bare hand.
Absolutely.
Take a look.
Go. Beautiful. Well done.
So actually that was,
That's a cut through.
I was hyped. I was completely hyped for hours after.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that you're doing with clients all the time, helping them break through,
Breaking through.
literally and figuratively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what you did that day as well, you said to me, how do people feel when they've been to see you? And I said, how do you feel having broken through? That's exactly how you feel.
I actually wanted to break lots of things, you know. Like,
Stop.
and they go, no,
The teapot's fine, just the way it is.
But listen, since we spoke, you've been off to Vegas. You were there for a month. Tell us about that.
I was in Vegas for a month, and that was doing trainers training. Right.
So you're now training other trainers to help other people.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we spent a lot of the time, which is, you know, I'm here as a hypnotist, as a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we do. But also, we do neuro-linguistic programming and timeline therapy.
Okay, so tell us a bit about NLP is the shorthand. People call it NLP. Yeah. So neuro-linguistic programming is what, in a nutshell?
Neuro-linguistic programming is about finding the excellence for you to perform with other people.
Yeah.
And that's listening to yourself. What are you thinking about? What are you doing? What are you telling other people? And listening to other people, that's really, really important, especially in a business connotation or meetings.
Right.
For example, I had somebody just a couple of days ago phone me up, Dane, I'd like to have a quick chat with you. Have you got time? Yeah, because he's a previous client. And one of the things I do with all my clients, I guarantee the work. Right. I also provide mentoring and coaching going forward, so that they don't just come and see me once, they see me again, and we build up a friendship as well.
Yeah. And what kind of breakthroughs are people having?
This particular person, which is topical, it's right off the top of my head, he had hit a brick wall. Yeah. Right, and brick walls people hit from time to time, and what you've got to do is find a way over it, through it, round it, whatever you can to break through or get over that brick wall.
And when you talk about a brick wall, are you talking about something dramatic, or are you actually talking about, you know, it might be as simple as getting stuck in a rut?
Well, that's where this guy was.
Right, okay.
He was stuck in a rut, and I think in listening to you previously, you've talked to writer's block.
Oh, yes.
Right? That is something that you've got to break through.
Yeah.
It can be in a metaphorical sense, it can be quite demonstrative, as we did before, but whatever's holding you back, we have to find out what that is.
And I see that you've written a book.
I did, and I brought a copy especially for you.
Thank you. We'll stick that on in our motivation library. And now tell me, obviously, I'm curious to know, was it quick to write?
Actually, it was a little bit like déjà vu, listening to Richard.
Oh, right.
And he said, allow yourself 30 days, make yourself a schedule and stick to it.
And is that what you did?
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic.
Exactly, and that was before I met Richard. Now I've just met him. It's absolutely good advice, which we can say holds good.
Brilliant.
And obviously, don't make the book too thick.
Yeah, good advice, thank you.
You're welcome.
So listen, when I saw you were coming, there was a bit of trepidation, I have to say.
A bit.
Like, oh, what's he going to make me do? I've actually lined up a volunteer this time. I don't know what you're going to do, but I've got a volunteer.
Fantastic.
What are you going to do?
Actually, we're going to do something which the audience will like. We're going to suspend this lady between two chairs.
Oh, and does she know?
No, she doesn't know it yet. But that's part of the surprise for everybody.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm intrigued to see.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it would be kind of hard for me to be interviewing you while suspended between two chairs.
Well, I think it would be possible but difficult.
Yeah.
Not good television.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Better the way we are.
Let's take a look. I'm dying to see what you do.
Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, so Wendy's came to join us today. Thank you, Wendy. Nice to see you here. We're going to have some fun together, and that will start now. What I'd like you to do is put your hand on mine and press down really hard. Press down really hard, and follow my instructions. You're up late at night. Imagine you're watching a black and white television show, and your eyes are getting very, very sleepy. Very sleepy. Whilst you're looking at this part, focus on here. Feeling very, very sleepy. Press down really hard, and sleep. 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 Totally relax. Totally relax. From the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Totally relax. Totally relax. I'm going to lift your left arm. You could help me today, but don't. Let me do the work. I'm going to put your left arm down. You're going to go 10 times deeper. Relax. Relax. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and from the head up only, look at what I'm going to show you. The rest of your body will remain asleep. Wake up your eyes and look at me. Look at my hand. This nice ball. What colour is it?
Yellow.
Yellow. You can take the ball. You look after it very carefully. Thank you. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is going to have to sleep once more. Deeply relax. And listen to my instructions. I'm going to stand you up very, very carefully in a moment. And I want you to follow my instructions exactly. First of all, give me the ball. I'll look after that for you. Thank you. Now I'm going to help you to stand up. Stand up. And to go totally rigid. Rigid. Rigid and stiff. Rigid and stiff. Rigid and stiff. Stay rigid and stiff. Now gently. Just lie back. Trust me. Rigid and stiff. 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 Stiff and rigid. Rigid and stiff. Now you can open up your eyes but remain rigid and stiff. How do you feel? Very good. You feel rigid and stiff?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Now sleep. And remain rigid and stiff. Rigid and stiff. We're going to help you stand up. Rigid and stiff. 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 You can feel the chair behind you now. Just gently relax and sit on the seat. Relax, 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 relax. Sit on the seat. And sleep. In a moment, I'm going to wake you from trance as I count from 10 to 1. Don't open your eyes until I count to 1. 10. Beginning to feel everything around you. 9. When you wake up, you'll feel totally refreshed. 7, 6. Totally refreshed. 5 and 4, 3. Ready to wake up. 2 and 1. You can wake up. There.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I've got to ask you, how do you feel?
Great, actually. I could hear everything that was going on. I felt totally in control, and yeah, I feel excited and energized, but relaxed at the same time.
Wow, fantastic. You can't say fairer than that.
You can.
Congratulations.
Absolutely fantastic job. Thank